Hello again, everybody. I'm Snapper Lancaster. Welcome you to another edition of the Central Alabama High School Sports Show. And as usual, this whole year we've been on a road trip and have enjoyed every minute of it. And this time we are at Shades Valley High School for the second time this year, where we will be interviewing a couple of coaches. It's the volleyball coach, head football coach. We'll find out what's going on with them and their sports, because as you well know, Shades Valley has been a very prominent school here in the Birmingham area for quite a long time, have outstanding athletic programs, outstanding students, and we're always glad to come and visit the high school. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will start the show and we'll have our first coach. Don't you go away. We'll be right back.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling 1-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite turkey and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli shaved bistro and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well.
At Andrews Sports Medicine, we partner with our patients, trying to help them overcome the obstacles that keep them from achieving their goals.
This practice aggressively pursues victory over injury, over pain, over limitation, over anything that's going to keep you from being the best you can be.
It starts with our non-surgical physicians who are trained in sports medicine, orthopedic injuries. We have specialists in sports medicine with shoulders, elbows, and knees. We have hip specialists that do only hip surgery, including arthroscopy, minimally invasive resurfacing, and total hip replacement if needed. We have joint replacement surgeons. We have spine surgeons. We have surgeons that specialize in foot and ankle surgery and in hand surgery. So just about all the specialties of orthopedics are covered at Andrews Sports Medicine.
What makes the great surgeons great is their volume of experience at making decisions, whether that's intraoperative decisions, post-operative decisions, pre-operative decisions, the decision to operate on somebody or not operate on them. And so our volume here breeds good decision making. That gives us an edge in terms of making decisions for our patients, which ultimately is a lot of times the difference between success and failure. The teams, the players, the parents have confidence in us because they know we're going to communicate with them. We're going to create a plan unique to that athlete or that person, and we're going to get them back to their thing and as quickly and as safely as we can.
At Andrews Sports Medicine, our mission is to partner with our patients and to help them succeed and achieve victory. Whether you're a weekend warrior, a grandparent with a shoulder problem, or a professional athlete, you get the same care, the same high-level technology, the same aggressiveness that we would in a professional athlete, and we treat everyone the same way. None of us like to lose. We're all very competitive, and we're not going to lose against their illness or their injury.
And folks, welcome back. As you can tell, I've got my first head coach with me, and sitting beside me is Coach Kimberly Cook, and she's the volleyball coach here at Shades Valley. And we're going to find out a little about her. First of all, Coach Cook, thanks for being with us.
No problem, anytime.
And what we'd like to do to start this interview off, tell us a little bit about your background and what's led you to be the head volleyball coach here at Shades Valley.
I'm originally from Florence, Alabama. Graduated from UAB in 2011. I'm a physical education major, was basketball coach throughout my years. When I was at Florence Middle School, I started volleyball coaching, and when I got here in 2014, I became a JV coach, and the head coach left there, so therefore I was moved up and promoted into head coach.
So how many years is this for you to be the head coach?
This would be year 5 for me.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, one thing I've always enjoyed asking volleyball coaches, and very respectfully, this sounds like maybe not too good a question, but I think it is because I've asked head coaches such as yourself, do you still do hallway recruiting for volleyball players?
Most definitely. You have sometimes some of the students, they don't think that they're good enough. So, of course, I always try to look in the hallways and see what potential that we do have here at Shays Valley High School.
And believe me, I definitely don't mean that in a negative way at all. It's just that volleyball and basketball in particular and track for young ladies has been around a long time, but some have grown quicker and faster than others. So going into this year, what was your outlook from your perspective for this year's team? Like what kind of kids coming back? Did you have quite a few seniors, or are you having a few new kids coming into the program? Talk about that aspect.
From last year, from the previous season, we were blessed enough to go to the regional conference. We unfortunately did not make the first round. We lost to Clay Chalkville. But I did have a group of seniors. I have 9 seniors in total and a group of juniors. So we have 3 other juniors. So we had a core of about 10 young ladies that were coming back into the team. And so this year has been one of those years that's phenomenal for us. We've record-breaking for my coaching career here at Shays Valley. So as far as the expectation, it's always been of excellence at all times. So that's one thing we have. We have a great group of freshman class that has came, and they're on my JV team right now. But they're going to come up, and some are moving up to varsity right after their season.
So what has your record been thus far this year?
Right now, I think we are 16-16, dead even.
Wow, well that's all right. Now the thing about it, and when I asked you this, believe me, it's because I'm more curious than anything else. Because football is always the sport that I dealt most with and knew the most about, but I'm not real sure about the playoff system for the volleyball girls. How many girls qualify, or do you all get a chance at the very end, 1 through 4, to maybe work into the playoffs?
Well, right now we're in area play, so we are currently held in 2nd place. We have a game which is senior night tomorrow. In which if we beat Homewood, which who's in our area is Homewood, us, and Huffman. We beat Huffman, and Homewood beat us the first go around at their place. So they're coming here. It's our senior night. It's a big night for us. So if we were to win tomorrow, we would be in a coin flip, and if we win against Homewood and we win against Huffman, we'll be tied for first place.
So it sounds like this team, 1, you had some high expectations,
yes, sir.
And 2, you had the experience for maybe those to happen. Now, one question that I'm not sure about your sport, if it's like the other sports, are you the one that makes out your schedule?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, we know ahead of time that you've got to play your area teams.
Yes, sir.
Now, I've asked coaches about this because I look at it maybe like a guy would, that I don't know what I'm talking about exactly, but I ask these coaches, such as yourself, how do you go about setting your schedule? Because if it was me, I would look at it like this. You tell me how right or wrong I am. I would want to play teams that were better than me, where at times during the year you can find out exactly where you're at. Right. I'd like to play teams that are probably the same level as me, where I can tell if I'm improving or not. Mm-hmm. And then I would like to play some teams that it's an upset if we lose that game, because winning makes people feel, you can quote in those wins and losses, see the progression. Mm-hmm. A lot of times. And I'm curious about this too, Coach. In my mind, there's such things as good losses. And what I mean by that, your players, are you one of these coaches, because I get on to coaches sometime about this aspect of it. I can't get on about much, but the one thing I say and tell them is if you expect more than 100% out of your players, you're wrong. Now, because I'm old school. I believe there's only 100%. Get this 110. That ain't there. They give you everything you got to get, win or lose. You can't be dissatisfied with your players. I hope you're not.
No, I'm not.
Because that's all they can do. But what is your philosophy? How do you look at that, and how do you go about making your schedule?
The way I make my schedule, basically, if anybody wants to play Shays Valley, and we have those dates, I don't have a problem with playing anybody. With us, it's basically tournament based, and so the more tournaments that we have, that's more preparing us more for the season. And so I try to get us into as many tournaments as we can. We have currently been on 4 tournaments already, and we have, as of now, 2 more to go.
Really?
And we have 3 weeks left.
And the thing about it, and I'm sure you're like all coaches, I talk about that as well, is every coach is looking for his or her team to peak toward the end of the season, toward the playoffs. You want to be the best that you can be. Now, a couple of things might stop that. Talent and injuries. And so other than that, is that pretty much the way you look at it too, that if the girls grow during the year in experience and ability, that makes you harder come playoff time to deal with?
Most definitely. I'm not expecting when our season usually begins at the end of August. So during that time, we shouldn't be our best because, again, like you said, we should be peaking around this time. And just all of our mind and energy should peak during this time to be the best that we can be, especially close to our playoff system.
Well, I was going to say, it sounds like you've got some kids on your team that have that playoff experience first. You've got some that'll be experiencing it for the first time.
Yes.
But the main thing is, barring injury, what we're all coaches, I think, are hoping for is that we're playing our best when those tournaments start. And then just hope that your ability and your team's ability would take care of itself. Have they listened to me? Have they learned what they need to learn? And at this point in the season, are you very satisfied with where your girls are and where they're headed as we near the end of the season?
Oh, yes, sir. The thing about it with me, I've always had a philosophy of having a strong foundation, and foundation is mentality. So if we have that mentality of going after it, knowing exactly what we need to do, knowing what we need to do to put in to from the get-go, then we know where we need to be. So if your mind is exactly where we need it to be, everything else is going to be okay. And I think right now we're okay.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, it sounds like you're very confident, and maybe you've got a good reason for that. And if not, you hope to have a good reason
I really do.
for it when the season ends and you start in the playoffs. Well, it sounds like you're used to competing in the playoffs, so let's hope that everything comes to culminate with a outstanding playoff team, and then we'll let the wins and losses take care of themselves. But I tell coaches and I tell the young athletes too, somebody's got to win that state title. Might as well be you, right?
Might as well be us.
Well, I tell you what, once again, awfully good to meet you. I wish you and your players all the luck in the world. We're going to visit with a few of them here in a few moments, but awfully good to see you, and it sounds like you're doing a fantastic job here.
Thank you, sir.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. Some of the players that's been very instrumental in the outstanding season the Shays Valley girls have had so far this year. We'll be right back.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm. Saved $760. Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Alan Gurdeau in Trussville today.
And folks, welcome back. And as you can tell, I got 4 beautiful young ladies up here who happen to be pretty good athletes, and they play volleyball and an outstanding job for the Shades Valley Lady Mounties. And I don't like to butcher young ladies' names. There's a way around that. So what I'm going to do is ask each young lady to tell me their name, their grade, and what the position they play, and we will start with the first young lady.
Hi, you guys. My name is Ananda Kionis, and I'm an outside hitter, and I'm a senior this year.
Hi, my name is Maya McCord. I'm a junior, and I'm an outside hitter.
Hey, my name is McKaylin Cobbin. I'm a senior this year, and I'm a right side hitter.
Hey, my name is Madison Gray. I'm a senior this year, and I'm a DS. And I'm a senior. Wait, I said that.
Well, I tell you what, girls, y'all did a good job on that. A whole lot better than Snapper could have done. So, but Ananda? Ananda. I knew I was going to.
It's okay.
But as we get this started, being a senior, what were the expectations for you this year, not only for yourself, but for your teammates?
Well, my goal every year is to always end off being a better version of myself. So I always expect that from anyone else on my team. So I always try to grow with my team, bond with my team, and talk to anyone else who needs help or comes to me. But because not only do we need to come together outside of the court, but we also need to come together on the court because it makes our connection and our plays way better. So that's my goal.
Absolutely. And Maya, how about you?
Well, being the only, junior over here right now, I feel like our connection is getting better than what it was last year, and that everyone is just coming together.
Well, let me tell you, the area you're going into, we call it team chemistry. Mm-hmm. And if you've got good team chemistry, you can sure do a whole lot better things, not only individually, but as a unit, than if you were all at one another, So that's always an important part. Michaelin, how about you? Has it surprised you? Right now you're at 500, but starting to play some of your best volleyball. What were your expectations for yourself and the team?
For me, with this being my first year playing with Shays Valley, I wanted to get a connection with everybody because I only knew a few of the players on the team and grow together and know each other on and off the court.
Well, where were you at last year?
Oh, I was here.
Oh, here, this is your first year to play volleyball? Mm-hmm. Did you participate in any other sports? Then what in the world got you to the volleyball court?
Ananda.
Well, see, that's what happened. That's what friends are for. Yeah, she found something in you that you didn't see in yourself, that you could play volleyball, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And we used to play in middle school as well, so I knew that if I could make it, she could make it.
She just decided to take a couple of years off?
Yeah.
Okay, made her even better, didn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And how about you, Madison?
Well, for me, becoming mentally strong was the biggest thing for me because last year I used to get in my head a lot and get down on myself. And luckily, Coach, got that out of me. I don't do that anymore, so that was the big thing for me. But as a team-wise, I'm really pretty content with where we're at right now. We're all really pretty close. We don't really argue that much, so for that, I think that's one of the biggest things that you can have in a team. So.
Now, I've always wondered about that, and you brought that out in such an eloquent way, is you ladies, I know what it's like, and I know how to handle the guy that wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. Oh, yeah. But a lot of the young ladies, I'm not sure. If that chemistry is good, that's terrific. If it's not, I've heard. Now I don't know this for a fact. Okay, I've heard about cat fights. Can take. But trust me, there are disagreements between females just like there is male. It's human nature. But it sounds like you and your girls are really on the right road. And the main thing about it is it sounds like that from talking to the coach that maybe y'all are beginning to play a little bit better, like you're gaining that experience that will be more important come playoff time, because that's when we want to peak. Now, before y'all sit down, I knew two things about you already, okay? One, you were outstanding students. You know why? Because if you didn't make those grades, you didn't qualify to play, right? Mm-hmm. And then also you're outstanding athletes, because I have found out that y'all's program has played some pretty good volleyball the last 2 or 3 years. So we don't expect any less out of y'all, right? So what I want y'all to do is peak at the right time. Now, that's the last thing we're going to say about volleyball, okay? Because now I'm going to find out a little bit about y'all. I know you spend a lot of time in the classroom in your books, because if you don't study, you don't play. And then you spend playing. You got a tough, physically minded coach that's going to push you, which is a good thing. Oh, yeah. But sometimes we got to take a break. We got to get away from the classroom and get away from the coach and the volleyball.
Right.
Now, what do we do to relax a little bit? And we'll start with you.
Well, I know when we took our break, just not shortly ago, I took a nap. I went to sleep.
Yeah.
Because I knew that if I didn't get any sleep, I was going to be right back where I started. And playing exhaustingly is not my best thing. No. So I got a lot of sleep, and it got my energy up. And usually just talking to my friends, Usually just talking to my friends. These are my friends, by the way.
I hope so.
They relax me. They keep my mind clear, and just having a good time with them makes me comfortable.
Okay.
Usually I would just read or listen to music or just try to calm myself, you know.
Okay, well, you got to have that out, and everybody's is a little bit different too. So how about you, Michaela?
I just, like, all I do, I stay in the house and watch Netflix and movies and sleep.
Really? Well, I mean, you got to be physically ready for not only the classroom but for the volleyball court. So getting the absolute rest you need, that's very important. How about you, Madison?
Well, honestly, I feel like even when we have downtime, I'm still busy because I'm like really involved in like softball and like other sports too, and like activities at the school. And actually, like one of the weekends that we had downtime, I actually went and hung out with KK and we went to the movies. So I'm consistently doing something with them. I mean, or take a nap. A nap is a good option.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, girls, I got one last question that I want to ask you, and in particular, just the seniors on this question, then a last question. As you start out, once you graduate, have you got in your mind where you'd like to go to school or what you'd like to be one day?
Actually, I do. I have two choices. So my first choice is going to ASU to major in business because I want to become a model.
Okay, terrific.
So I know if I start out in business, I'll have all the connections I need, and then Troy is my second choice as well.
Okay, how about you, Michaela?
I want to go to UAH, University of Alabama in Huntsville. I want to go to Tennessee Tech and take up nursing, get my degree, become an RN, and be a traveling nurse.
Okay, terrific. And how about you, Madison?
I'm still indecisive about which college exactly, but UAB and Alabama are my first choices. And I want to do marketing with an international business
Well, I want
degree.
you to know that a lot of people have told me that undecided is their school right now. So don't worry about that because it'll come. All right, now, girls, the last question I got to this point in your young lives, who's been the most inspirational person or persons? And we'll start with you.
Oh, you might have to come back to me. I don't know. I never really had like an inspirational person, specifically one. I feel like you build off of the people you're around, and I'm around a lot of people. So not just one, but maybe a group of people inspire me to be the woman that I am today.
Okay, good for you.
I don't really know, honestly, but when it comes to sports, my inspiration is my dad, because he usually just, like, he's always there for me. He always tells me what I need to work on and what I need to do to get better.
He may push you, but he's there to lift you up when you need it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Okay, I would say my parents, but most of all, my sister. Like, we fuss and fight all the time, but we're always there for each other, and she's there to bring me up when I'm down all the time.
Well, that's terrific. And how about you?
I would say kind of like a Nanda, not really a specific person because I'm around a lot of people who like build me. But probably my aunt because she owns her own business and being like one of the, first women to kind of go into business in a man's job. So I really look up to her for being so strong to do that.
Well, good for you, girls. I wish you all the luck in the world. Playoffs are coming. Somebody's got to win. Boy, it's Shades Valley title. That'd be nice to end that career that way, wouldn't it?
Yes,
well,
sir.
Listen, good luck to you, and seniors, good luck to you as you get out on your own after you graduate, okay? And you'll come back and be a bell cow next year on the team, okay? Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We come back, we're going to change sports, so don't you go away. We'll be right back.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors, a company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their number one objective.
At Andrew Sports Medicine, we partner with our patients, trying to help them overcome the obstacles that keep them from achieving their goals.
This practice aggressively pursues victory over injury, over pain, over limitation, over anything that's going to keep you from being the best you can be.
It starts with our non-surgical physicians who are trained in sports medicine, orthopedic injuries. We have specialists in sports medicine with shoulders, elbows, and knees. We have hip specialists that do only hip surgery, including arthroscopy, minimally invasive resurfacing, and total hip replacement if needed. We have joint replacement surgeons. We have spine surgeons. We have surgeons that specialize in foot and ankle surgery and in hand surgery. So just about all the specialties of orthopedics are covered at Andrew Sports Medicine.
What makes the great surgeons great is their volume of experience at making decisions, whether that's intraoperative decisions, post-operative decisions, pre-operative decisions, the decision to operate on somebody or not operate on them. And so our volume here breeds good decision making. That gives us an edge in terms of making decisions for our patients, which ultimately is a lot of times the difference between success and failure. The teams, the players, the parents have confidence in us because they know we're going to communicate with them. We're going to create a plan unique to that athlete or that person, and we're going to get them back to their thing as quickly and as safely as we can.
At Andrew Sports Medicine, our mission is to partner with our patients and to help them succeed and achieve victory. Whether you're a weekend warrior, a grandparent with a shoulder problem, or a professional athlete, you get the same care, the same high-level technology, the same aggressiveness that we would in a professional athlete, and we treat everyone the same way. None of us like to lose. We're all very competitive, and we're not going to lose against their illness or their injury.
And folks, welcome back. And as you can tell, I've got a different coach here. This gentleman I've known quite a few years, Coach David Partridge, Shades Valley Mounties. Coach Partridge, always good to see you.
Thank you.
And for people that might be seeing you the first time, tell us a little bit about your background and what has led you here to Shades Valley.
Well, I've got an extensive background actually in the Birmingham area. My dad was a longtime coach at Huffman High School. He just passed recently, so we're all trying to get over that. I don't know that we will get over that, to be honest with you. But I helped him at Huffman High School as a college student, and then I went on to coach with Tim Sanders at Warrior High School, and then I was at Shades Valley High School with Robert Higginbotham for 3 years, and went to Leeds and Clay and Oak Mountain and at Hewitt Trussville for 11 years, and then I had the opportunity to come back to Shades Valley as a head coach. Was an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator, and actually was a coordinator, I think, for 17 years maybe before I became a head coach. And so just thought I'd give it a try, and we're here at Shades Valley, been here for 5 years.
When all those years put together, how many years in coaching?
All those together, this is my 36th season.
Wow.
So.
Well, that's terrific, yeah. Coach. And longevity says a lot about you. First, the love of the game. Secondly, your ability to be a pretty good coach. And but tell me about in the earlier days in your career before you became the head coach in your first head coaching job. Talk about the transition from being an assistant coach to the head man. It's a completely different outlook, isn't it?
It is a little different. There are some things that you aren't prepared for, because when you're the end of the line, so to speak, that you've got to make the final decision on things, then that's a little different. But I had so many years in before I became a head coach that I think I was probably as prepared as anybody could be, because I'd been a coordinator on both sides, and you kind of run your part of the team as a coordinator, so that kind of prepares you to be a head coach there. So, but I think every job, every school has some different situations, and not only just being a head coach. But if you're a head coach at a different school, there's always different situations from different schools. So.
Talk about the challenge of this year's team. What were your expectations? Have the kids lived up to it? Do you think their best football is still ahead of them? Has the injury bug struck your team in a very negative way? Or are things pretty well going the way you thought they might?
Well, we really had very high expectations going into the year, and we started out really well. We played Central Clay and they were 5A state champs last year in our Jamboree game, and we beat them fairly well. And then we opened up with Jackson Nolan, who was coming off of a really good year, and we beat them soundly too and had things going. And we went to Pinson Valley, and we were 7-7 against Pinson Valley going into half, and our quarterback got hit after he threw the ball and actually tore his ACL and his MCL, so he's out, and that was a big blow to us. And we're actually on our third quarterback now, so the kid that played for us after that was another senior, and he got injured 2 weeks later, and so we're on a freshman quarterback now. So that kind of, and he's a really good player and really good athlete, but just being a freshman, everything's a little faster.
And of course, you know this, and just like I do, but injuries are a major part of the game sometime. And like you said, you had high hopes. Your team had some good talent coming in. And all it takes is injuries at the wrong position. Not that there is one that's more important than the other, but when you look and lose quarterbacks like that, and then, like you say, not only starter and then you're back up and you're pushed down that road, it's a setback that sometimes you can overcome to a degree, but other times, as the old saying goes, you just have to play with what's healthy and can go out there.
Yeah, and we have, and we'll be fine. It's just a matter of when you're trying to break in a new quarterback, it takes a little while for him to get the experience that he needs. And one of our best linebackers also got hurt early on. He's missed 2 games. So I think as we go along, we're going to get back to that point, and I still think we can have a really good team.
Well, I was going to say, now I know you got 3 or 4 area games left, I think, and if your team could win 2 or 3 of those, you're right back in it.
We are. Yeah.
And I think the main thing, and Coach, you can expand on this a little bit too. The most important part is qualifying. Now, if you're fortunate enough to have that good season where you miss those key injuries and everything, and you know what you got pretty much from the beginning to the end, that's one thing.
Right.
But another thing, when you're hit with what you and I, they're all injuries are bad, but some we consider major because of the positions of the youngsters that play them, the young men, and it will, like you say, set you back and. Some of them you can overcome, and then some of them, I know you've been in the business long enough to have seen this happen. It sort of destroys what your team totally could have been before the year was over with.
It does, but I believe, like I said, we're mid-season right here. We got 5 games left. I think that we can get back on track, and I think we can qualify for the playoffs. And we still have a chance to win the region just because of our region has kind of beat each other. So if we win out, we're right there tied, I think, for first. So.
Well, and sometimes, and Coach, you've been in business a lot longer than me, but I look at it and see things like this happen. Adversity before it's over with will bring out the best in your whole. And that being the case, like you said, y'all may be in it right to the very end as far as qualifying. The only thing about it, and I know you feel the same way, if it's meant to be this way and you only qualify in the number 4 spot, that gets you in the beginning.
That's right.
So having said that, it sounds like that you've got some possibilities for the backup players that are having to step up without that experience to still get enough, win a game or 2, or win one maybe you're not supposed to win, that turns the whole season around again. But you've been around so long, you've seen that happen, so from the beginning to end, you never give up hope.
That's right. Well, I just told the kids yesterday, they're doing things the right way. Their effort's really good, and they're trying to execute what we're doing. And if you do those things and you do things the right way, good things are going to happen to you. And it's going to happen. It may not be as soon as we want, but the good things will happen to them.
Well, I know, and the other thing we look at it like this is that if we can be patient, that negatives can turn into positive before it's over with. Kids can grow in ways that surprise you sometime, and I know you've been around that a long, long time. But the one thing that hurts sometimes are those what we'll call major injuries that happen to youngsters that play key positions, and sometimes you can overcome it, sometimes you just deal with it and you do the best you can, and that's all you can do. And I'm sure, Coach, you're one of these that if your guys are giving you all that they've got to give, you're not going to be disappointed in them win or lose.
No, we're not. Yeah.
And so, well, Coach, I know it's one of those seasons where it's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride because of the injury factor. But the one good thing about it sounds like you're still pleased with where your kids are. And you know you've got some youngsters that's playing positions that they haven't been starters very long.
Right.
But a lot of times that's when those leaders on the team step forward and the group grows together. And before you know it, you got that. You're in the
That's
playoffs,
right.
and that's the starting of the second season,
That's
as Joe
right.
was saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Coach, once again, it's been awfully good to see you. I know you've been around the high school scene a long, long time, and I've been involved with you quite a few years, and always good to see you. And I would love, and I know you would love to see this too, the season end up on the getting into the playoffs, even if it's that last spot, and just see where it might take you.
That's right. Yeah.
But all the luck to you.
Thank you so
and,
much.
Down the road, how many more years you think you're going to be looking at?
I
coaching?
don't know. You know, I'm just going year at a time, and I think I'll know when it's time to step away.
Well, I tell you what, you've had a great career thus far, and whenever it's ready, I know you'll be looking forward to retirement, but it's nice when you've done something you love all those
Right.
years. Wish you all the luck the rest
you.
of the season.
Appreciate
Maybe this team will surprise you.
That's right. Yeah. You never know.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We come back, we're going to visit 5 of these young athletes that are very instrumental in the season they're having thus far. We'll be right back.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm. Saved $760. Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Alan Gurdeau in Trussville today.
Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling 1-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite turkey and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli shaved bistro and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well. And folks, welcome back. As you can tell, I got 5 stripping young athletes up here that pretty good football players for the Shades Valley Mounties. And sitting close to me, Cam Bass,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Cam, you're a senior linebacker.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and next to him, Sam Howard, senior linebacker.
Yes, sir.
And then we've got Isaiah Sims, a senior cornerback.
Yes, sir.
And next to him, Dre Olds, a senior and a wide receiver.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and finally, A.J. Williams, a senior and a running back.
Yes, sir.
All right, now guys, coming into this season, and we'll start with you, Cam, what were your personal expectations for yourself and this group?
My expectations was for us to just dominate in every position, just dominate and do the best we can.
Now, the one thing that we talked with Coach about, and I'm sure you guys have to deal with it, is having key players injured.
Yes, sir.
And next people step up. So that changes the game plan a little bit, but never what your focus is and what your goal is. Sam, how about you?
Same with Cam. I just wanted us to be successful in all aspects, like just dominate in all aspects of the game and somehow get close enough to the championship and be able to compete for a championship.
Well, good. That's
Success to
right.
the
Isaiah, how about you?
Well, mostly the same thing he said. Just do what we got to do, and people step up. So the people that got hurt, they step up, do their job, both sides of the ball, and I feel like we'll be sure we still good, honestly.
Okay. How about you, Dre?
Basically the same thing that all 3 of them said. Cause like we all on one mission, for real. So really, yeah. Basically, that's it.
Well, let me ask you this, and I'm gonna ask the other guys too, but I'm gonna ask you while I'm talking with you. You play any other sport, or is it just football?
I play basketball too.
Basketball too. Which sport do you like the best?
I like football better.
Okay.
I like football better.
Okay. All right. How about you, AJ?
I agree with all four of them, but I wanted us to have a strong bond, have each other back, because last year it went like that.
All right. Let me ask you, do you participate in any other sports?
Yes, sir.
What's that?
Wrestling and baseball.
Really? Now, wrestling, I would imagine, helps you with your football a lot.
Yeah, they do a lot.
Baseball, what position you play in baseball?
I play left field.
Oh, okay, an outfielder. Cam, I'll ask you this. Do you participate in any other sports?
No, sir, just football.
Okay. How about you, Sam?
Basketball.
Basketball?
Yes, sir.
Which one you like the best?
Football.
I hear you, boy. That coach is outside the door. That's good. Isaiah, how about you? Do you participate in
I
the
play
other?
basketball too.
Okay, well, great. So you play more than one. Now, Cam, when you look at that schedule, being a senior, who do you look at and say, gosh, I can't wait to line up against them guys?
Everybody.
Everybody.
It's like this our revenge season. So like,
Right.
we just want to impose our will on every team we play.
Oh, okay. But, Sam, there's got to be somebody when you see them. Maybe you may know somebody that plays somewhere else. Is there somebody that stands out? That's a game you can't wait to play.
It was definitely Pinson.
Pinson.
Yeah, because
What's-
they talk a lot of trash, and I know a bunch of them.
Right.
So it was just like, you know, I just want to show what we can do.
Right. Let me ask you this. Now, you be honest with me. Shades Valley don't talk no trash, do they?
No, sir.
Okay.
We humble.
Yeah, humble.
Try to stay humble.
Okay, I hear you. Isaiah, how about you? Who do you, when you see that schedule, what pops out? Next man.
I say Pensy too.
Okay,
I say
well,
Pensy.
Princeton, I was going to say next man up. May do that too. Dre, how about you?
I'll say Pinson, but also this game Friday against Clay.
Yeah, well, here's the thing about it, I guess. When you hear Pinson seems like more than anybody else, they're one of the better teams around, and if you're going to be the best, you got to beat the best, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, AJ, how about you?
I agree with Cam. I was ready to play everybody.
Oh, I hear you. All right, now all you guys are seniors, so Cam, if you could go to any college you wanted to, where would you go and what would you like to study or hope to be one day?
That's a good one. I would like to go to Miami.
Really?
And I would like to study in, I say, sports management.
Right. Well, what's the lure of Miami for you?
Just the tradition, the defense, the way they play,
Right.
the attitude.
Okay, that's understandable. Sam, how about you?
I would say like Memphis because I like Tennessee. I like the atmosphere. And
Right.
I would probably study sports management too, or business or something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, good for you. Isaiah, how about you?
Miami.
Miami?
Same.
What is it attracts you there?
Just the defense and like the secondary. I really like that, and how they have a lot of enthusiasm about turnovers.
Right.
And how they have the chain. I like that.
Okay, Dre, how about you?
I would say really, it's a lot of schools that I want to, just like in-state schools in Bama.
Right.
Like, I just like the atmosphere.
Oh,
Like the
okay.
atmosphere.
Okay. AJ?
I say Georgia because they known for putting good running backs in the league.
Right. And so you being a running back, that sort of makes a difference, don't you? All right, guys. The one thing about it is win, lose, or draw, you've got to enjoy this experience of playing high school football. And so if one thing I've always enjoyed, too, is finding out who, like in the linebackers, the cornerback, wide receiver, and running back. Cam, who in college or pro, which athlete would you like to pattern your game after?
I would say Matt Wilson.
Okay. And where does he play?
He played at the Browns.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you liked his game. Sam, how about you?
I'll say Von Miller because he uses speed,
Right.
his hands to get around everybody. He just win.
Right. Isaiah, how about you?
Darrell Reeves.
Okay. Those are all great athletes. Dre?
I'll say Julio Jones.
Okay, receiver. And so that the position you play, and if you could play half as good as him one day, you might be there, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How about you, AJ?
Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel.
Oh, yeah. It had definitely been a spark plug there with the Cowboys. Well, guys, the one thing that I wonder, athletes are a superstitious bunch. And I don't know why, we just are. If we think we do things a certain way or this or that and the other, we wear something a certain way. Do you have any superstitions, Cam?
Not really. I'd say the music I listen to.
Oh, okay. Before the game,
Yes,
just
sir.
to get in the mental state you need to be in. How about you, Sam?
Sometimes I think about like the certain cleats I wear.
Yeah.
And like the certain gloves I wear.
Okay, make a difference?
No, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something about that in just a second. Isaiah, how about you?
How comfortable I am, like what I got on, like how I feel, if I feel good or not.
Oh,
stuff
okay.
like that.
All right. Dre?
I say the music too.
Music?
A little both. A little both.
Yeah.
A little both.
Okay. AJ?
Really what I have on, like if I'm comfortable or not.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. There's a secret to all this. None of those things help you at all. Mentally, it does. And so if that helps us a little bit, that's good. But your ability is really going to be the determining factor, right?
Yes, sir.
But we're strange. We think little things like that might make a difference. Well, guys, I know that y'all have had some hurdles to get through this season with the injuries and all, but you still got an outstanding season ahead of you. You can still make the playoffs, but you got to play all out every game, which I'm sure that you guys do. The last question I got, and I wish y'all all the luck in the world, especially all of you being seniors and off to college next year. But to this point in your young life, we'll start with you, Cam. Who's been the most inspirational person or persons?
My mom. My mom has.
Yeah, Mom's always there for us, isn't she? Sam, how about you?
My mom as well.
Okay. Isaiah?
Mother.
Your mom as well? Dre?
My mom.
Mom? AJ?
My brother.
Okay, well, listen, guys. Seniors, this is the last hurrah, so you got to go out there, and you've had a little problem on the injury side of the football. That happens. You just have to pick up the slack, do the best you can, play the best football you can the rest of the way, and you can easily make the playoffs, right?
Yes, sir.
But I wish you all the luck in the world. Good luck when you get out of high school and get off to college, and for whatever lies ahead of you down the road, okay? Yes. And so, folks, once again, we've had an outstanding show, outstanding coaches, outstanding athletes. We'll do it again next week. But till then, you know what the snapper always says, bicycle.
And guys, you say bicycle.
Bicycle.
At Andrew Sports Medicine, we partner with our patients, trying to help them overcome the obstacles that keep them from achieving their goals.
This practice aggressively pursues victory over injury, over pain, over limitation, over anything that's going to keep you from being the best you can be.
It starts with our non-surgical physicians who are trained in sports medicine, orthopedic injuries. We have specialists in sports medicine, shoulders, elbows, and knees. We have hip specialists that do only hip surgery, including arthroscopy, minimally invasive resurfacing, and total hip replacement if needed. We have joint replacement surgeons. We have spine surgeons. We have surgeons that specialize in foot and ankle surgery and in hand surgery. So just about all the specialties of orthopedics are covered at Andrew Sports Medicine.
What makes the great surgeons great is their volume of experience at making decisions, whether that's intraoperative decisions, post-operative decisions, pre-operative decisions, the decision to operate on somebody or not operate on them. And so our volume here breeds good decision making. That gives us an edge in terms of making decisions for our patients, which ultimately is a lot of times the difference between success and failure. The teams, the players, the parents have confidence in us because they know we're going to communicate with them. We're going to create a plan unique to that athlete or that person, and we're going to get them back to their thing and as quickly and as safely as we can.
At Andrew Sports Medicine, our mission is to partner with our patients and to help them succeed and achieve victory. Whether you're a weekend warrior, a grandparent with a shoulder problem, or a professional athlete, you get the same care, the same high-level technology, the same aggressiveness that we would in a professional athlete, and we treat everyone the same way. None of us like to lose. We're all very competitive, and we're not going to lose against their illness or their injury.